Hey guys, this was a question I had about low output volume of the. I got this radio working. It wasn't working at all, and you can watch the video on it. It's the 50s GE 2 radio. I think it's actually early 60s. Anyway, I was talking to the internet master Bobby Tektalibus, which is you can look up his YouTube channel, Bobby Tektalibus. He knows all the main guys on there, and they all share homework. And anyway, Bobby's channel has so much interesting stuff on it. You'll want to subscribe to him for sure. But I was talking to him earlier tonight, and I was telling him about this GE radio that I got it running. It had several things wrong with it, and I told him, I said the volume is kind of, it's loud enough, but it should be louder. And he said, oh, well, look at the tall tube. He said, I think it's a 50C something. So, this is a pretty smart guy, man. We hadn't talked about it before. So, anyway, you can see how tall those tubes are. All right, focus. And here is the one that he was talking about. There, it is taller than the others. It's the tallest one. And it's right here, as you can see, marked in the book on the Hickok tester. I've done a video on this before. The 50 is, anyway, the tester, I'm sorry. This is a 50C5. Is exactly what he said. He said, I think it's a 50C, maybe 4 or 5, 50C5. I said, yeah, 50. God, I was impressed. Anyway, he knew over the phone without even thinking about the radio. He knew. Amazing. So, and this is the Hickok TV 7DU military tube tester. I've done a video on this before. And anyway, so he knew, he said, oh, it's the tall one at the back in that radio. Wow, how do you remember something like that? And he said, if you're having problems with the volume output on that GE radio, check the tall one and see what the reading is on it. And check that tube. So that's one of the original tubes that was in it when I got it. And anyway, so let's test his knowledge. So I've got the settings set for it. I put the as I call it, the tall tube in there, the 50C5. And let me focus here. Hang on, sorry. So the 50C5, you want 50 volts for the filament, and then ET2 7610. So let's look what we got here, okay? Here's the filament, 50 volts, and then ET2 7610. Okay, and then they want, for the range, they want D. It's on there. I've already looked all this up. I had not tested it yet, so I'm testing his knowledge here. In fact, let me turn some more lights on and see what we got going on. We'll see how smart this guy is. I think he's probably close. He may not be perfect, but let's see what he says. What they want to do is they want us to press the test buttons over here on the right. They tell us to press 2 and 3, which is the diode button and the multi-condition switch, which works for many different things for many different tubes. And as you can see right there, I've marked it in red. 2 plus 3, it looks like a Z. And they want a minimum reading of 45 for it to be a good tube. There's the minimum. I put some red marks on there. So let's see how smart this guy is. I'm not so sure. Let's see what happens here. All right, I'm going to focus in on this. And here is the 2 and the 3 button. So they want a minimum reading of 45. I don't know, Mr. Bobby. Let's see here. All right, here you go. 2 and a 3. Let's see what happens. This, if this is not reading right, this will be what you said was wrong with it just by thinking about it. So let's see what happens. And as you can see, I've held it down, and it does keep going down a little bit as it tests, and it drops below the negative, or the very minimum of being right. So yes, I already knew this. He's a genius. It came out of the back of his head. That's crazy that he could do that. Yes, I've checked the line. You have to check the line voltage and do the line voltage adjust. Here, I've already done all that. Anyway, he knew it does drop down below the minimum requirement, and if it's on exactly what they want, as you can see it was there almost, it's it's not a good tube. You don't want the tube. So there's shows you how smart the guy is. He just, oh yeah, out of the back of his mind, he's, oh, just check the tall tube. I think it's a 50C4, no, 50C5. Jeez, man, you know, wow, I am impressed. Mr. Bobby, you ought to get some kick out of that. Anyway, you were right, and very impressed, and everyone else should be. Great job. I'm going to do another video of that. Change that tube. I do have another one of those, or 2 or 3 of those laying around, and I will change that tube. We'll do another video. Anyway, thanks, Mr. Bobby, and appreciate all your help. And y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Mr. Bobby Tiktalibus. Have a good night. Later.